Well, good afternoon, everyone. Sorry, we're running a little bit late today. Partly my fault. I was really unprepared today. I was literally writing my script and everything about 20 minutes ago. So apologies for that. I have a very special guest in the background with me. I'm sure everybody who's watching knows who he is and has watched his YouTube channel and has followed him for probably as long as most other people. But yeah, let's just get straight into it and introduce Ryan from Ralliroots.
Yo, what's up?
All right, how you doing?
Good, man. How are you? I know it's
Yeah,
Friday night for you, Friday afternoon for me.
yeah, it's 8 well, yeah, just gone 8 p.m. here. I should be in bed.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No, yeah, well, thank you very much for coming on the show. It's quite an honor to have someone as big as you come on a little YouTube channel like mine.
Well, I love doing stuff like this anyway, and we all start somewhere. So
Yeah,
I still remember like when we first started on YouTube, it was really hard to get like some of the bigger creators to even talk to me, Um, but I had like one of the first people was Resells. He was one of the first people to kind of go, "Hey, I'll talk to you." You know what I mean? Even though
yeah,
we were very small at that point, and he had a pretty big channel already. So I don't know. Everyone starts somewhere, and it's nice to chat.
yeah, exactly. And like the reselling world in over in the States is a little bit different to over here in the UK.
Sure.
Like there seems to be like far more people that are into reselling where you are than over here. I think like our biggest channel over here has only got about 60,000.
Sure.
I mean, I've been doing this 3-4 years now,
Nice.
and not quite at 1,500, but I mainly do it just for the entertainment side of it rather than anything.
Yeah. It's also like it's cool to just document your own journey,
Yeah,
like
exactly. Yeah,
it's fun to go back and look at how far you've come and how you've changed.
yeah. I got a recommendation of one of your older videos the other day,
Okay.
and you've really beefed up, you haven't you?
I got a little bigger.
I was
I
looking
have,
at you
yeah.
like, who's that? Oh, okay, yeah, I know who that is. Yeah, yeah.
I've definitely gone through phases. Allie's stayed pretty and beautiful the whole time, but I've
Yep.
definitely, I've gone through my phases, but hey, it's tough.
That's what happens when you get older.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll give you a proper introduction. Not that you need it, but if you want to tell us who you are and what your business name is.
Sure. So I'm Ryan Roots. Our business name is Ralliroots. It is myself, my lovely wife Allison, and then we have a full-time employee and friend Callie. So it's the three of us in the business full time. We've been full-time resellers for 7 years, and we've been on YouTube I think for 6 years. So, but the majority of our sales come from eBay and Amazon, and then more recently Whatnot, the live selling platform. But like I said, we've been full time for 7 years, and it's been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you prefer then on the platform? Do you prefer eBay, Amazon, or Whatnot?
So I love eBay because it's open. Okay, let me answer it this way. Amazon, in my opinion, is the best way to grow a reselling business.
Yeah.
If all you want to do is make money, that's where I would go. I would put all my eggs into the Amazon basket and run it as a legitimate reselling business. The biggest resellers I know are Amazon sellers, and they're doing 20, $30 million a year, but it's boring. I say that in a funny way, but it is like you turn into a logistics company. You're ordering wholesale, packing it up, and then shipping it to an Amazon fulfillment center. And at the end of the day, all you are is a shipping business. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So again, really good money, not knocking it. But for me, I love the thrill of the hunt, right? So I like to go sourcing. I like to go to yard sales and thrift stores and flea markets and find stuff. And then that kind of stuff, the stuff that we really sell a lot of, like vintage t-shirts, for example, you can't sell used t-shirts on Amazon. So the best place to do that is, in my opinion, still is eBay. And then I love eBay because it's a 24/7 marketplace. It's always open. We can always make sales on eBay. And then Whatnot recently, we've been on Whatnot for 10 months now, almost 11 months. And that is my personal favorite place to sell as a reseller, just because it's fun. I get to, get up my personality out there. I get to actually interact with my buyers. Like I can see the chat and talk to them. And it's a lot more personal, in my opinion. Like I can really describe what I'm selling and put some emotion behind it,
Mm.
and just here's a picture, buy my item. So,
Yeah.
but all of them have their merits. There's, and that's just the few that we sell on, but a mixture of them is really good. But for what we like to do, love eBay and really like selling on Whatnot.
Yeah, we've got Whatnot over it, like just starting to come over here in the UK, and I've applied to sell on there. I'm still
Cool.
waiting for verification, but yeah, like from watching like you and who else? Daily Refinements. He does quite a lot of Whatnot now, doesn't he?
Mhm.
So yeah, watching like both you guys sort of doing it, and Paul Cantu. Do you know who he is down in
You
Texas?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
I know.
thrift god himself.
Yeah, that's the one.
And Jacob Starr also got on there.
Okay.
Yeah, Thrift Row. Super big YouTuber as well.
Yeah, just hopefully it'll be just as good when it comes over to the UK when it's over there. But I think mainly at the moment that it's all like Pokemon cards and stuff like that over here.
Yeah. I
Gone
mean,
into like,
even here still, like they really started as a sports card company, like breaking open sports card packs and selling them. And that's still where most of their value lies. Like thrifting, vintage t-shirts, vintage clothing, we're a tiny, tiny percentage of Whatnot's income.
yeah,
There's the biggest seller on Whatnot right now, I believe, is a company called Backyard Breaks, and they're actually in Florida. They're like 3 hours south of us. But I mean, they'll do $500,000 a week. You know what I mean? Like it's
yeah,
ridiculous. And that's because high-end sports cards. So
yeah,
we're still small potatoes.
yeah. No, exactly.
Can I answer a question really quick? I see Bill's
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Moon.
yeah. Sure, yeah.
Says, do you get less returns on Whatnot? So we get no returns on Whatnot. That's another cool thing about it, is that the buyer pays for shipping and there are no returns once the item, because you're selling it and showing it directly to the customer.
Yeah,
So they know what they're getting. And there are no returns. And Whatnot seller support, especially in comparison to eBay, is amazing. Like if a customer ever has an issue, they support their sellers 100%, and sometimes they'll refund the buyer as well. So it's been a
what
really good platform.
what are the fees like and that on Whatnot then?
Fees are 8%, and then your standard 2.9% processing fee and 30 cents of on top of that. So
Okay,
it works out to about 11%.
yeah, so
12%.
not too bad,
No,
not far off of what eBay would be if you were promoting and
no.
stuff. Yeah,
The one thing that I will say, a big downside, is that you don't get as much money as you would letting the item sit and finding the
yeah,
right buyer,
yeah,
but you're moving inventory so quickly. If you still have a good margin, it doesn't really matter.
yeah. So how does it work? Like, because I know obviously it's kind of like a live auction. Is there like a timer that people have? If it gets to that timer and it just sells for that price?
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
Just like a normal auction, and you can set that. So you can choose how much to start the item for and how long to run it for. Like we usually start our stuff at like $5 and run it for 30 seconds.
yeah.
And then if it gets to the end and someone bids, it adds 10 seconds back onto the timer.
Oh
So,
right, okay,
and then it goes like that. But you're
okay,
very
fair
welcome, Bilzerman. Appreciate you being here.
enough. Yeah, no, that sounds. I mean, as I say, I'm really quite looking forward to it coming over here properly, and
Yeah.
I think
It's like I said, it's not the be all and end all of reselling by any means. And it's really not for everybody. It's not.
no,
And it really does help to have a social media following to help
yeah,
bring your audience
definitely,
to the
definitely,
platform. You don't have to have it. I know a lot of really successful sellers that have almost no social media presence. They just build on the platform,
yeah.
because you can get followers and stuff on the actual platform.
Yeah,
But it does help.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so going back to you've been reselling for about 7 years now. How did you get into it? How did you start reselling?
Good question. So I've always, since I was 20, I've been in business for myself, and I turned 35 this year. Wow, that's crazy.
You're younger than me.
Yeah, but I started businesses that were in advertising and then in website design, search engine optimization, like the Google side of things. And I had a business. I sold that business. I moved to Australia and started the same company in Australia. Spent a year out there. Sold 20% of that company, came back to America, started another company in America, a social media management company. And I was still young at this point. I was like 25 years old. And I was running two businesses, or helping run two businesses, the one in Australia and the one in America. And we had like 23 employees in America. And it was a nightmare. I was making no money because it was a startup. All the money was going back into the business.
Yeah.
I'd invested a lot of money into it, like a lot of, time and money into it. And I just wasn't making any money. And I was really, really stressed out. And I was like, one day I came home and it was like another really long day. And I came home and I was like, dude, I'm 25 years old and I'm burnt out. And Allie was like, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, you're going to die. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can't keep doing this. So that was kind of a reality check at that point. And I said, okay, let's find something that is enjoyable again for me. So sold both companies, broke even, and sat at home and said, okay, the money was running out, right? I watched my bank account like go into zero. And I was like, okay, I can go get a job or I can figure something out. And one Saturday, Allie and I were like, hey, why don't we just go to garage sales? I have an old eBay account. So I can reopen it back up. Let's go see if we can find stuff. I was really into like Pawn Stars and like American Pickers. Like I was into the TV shows. I didn't know that reselling was a thing at this point. I had no idea that it was like a thing that you could do as a business. So we took $100 or $200 out on a Saturday, went to some garage sales, found a few things, listed them on eBay. They sold over the weekend, and we like doubled the money. We turned 200 into 400, and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool. I wonder if you could do this as an actual business." And then that's how it started. It went from garage sales to thrift stores to auctions to wholesale to buying out full collections, and yeah.
Yeah.
It all started with $200 on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's like I was sort of the same. Like I've always been into kind of reselling. Like when I was younger, I used to buy and sell cars.
Oh, nice.
Mainly just for myself, really. Buy a cheaper car, fix it up, sell it for more, buy a better car, do that, and
That's awesome.
so on and so forth. And it was always at boot sales, yard sales, I think they're called over by you, or flea markets, is it?
Boots, yeah, it would be more like a flea market. Yeah, I have yet to go to a boot sale. I would love to. It looks like a lot of fun. Everyone just rocks up with their cars and opens and sells out of their cars, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, there are some where like you have to take your stock to a table and that, but yeah, most of them it's just out in a field in the middle of nowhere.
That's sweet.
Rock up with your car and then try and fight off everyone trying to dive into your car while you're getting everything out.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah, it can be fun. It can be quite intimidating for some people, but
Sure.
yeah, it's all part of the course. But yeah, I used to love going to boot sales when I was a kid and everything, and I stumbled across a YouTuber that was just doing video footage of buying stuff at a boot sale, like for himself, basically, like buying games and stuff. And yeah, that's how mine started. And yeah, I turned it into a full-time job.
Nice.
4 years ago. So
sweet.
Yeah, not quite at the heights that you guys are, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. And again, it's cool that reselling can be done all over the world and in completely different ways, and everyone can still be successful at it. It's a very cool thing.
Yeah, it's really good as well, because even though some of the reselling aspects are so different, like from different countries, you can still learn from other countries. So I learned a lot about like single stitch t-shirts and stuff from you guys.
Cool.
I'm sure there's YouTubers on your side that watch, British ones maybe, for our weird car boot sales.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
But so obviously you started off doing things like thrifting shops and going to flea markets and stuff. Do you still get most of your stock from places like that, or do you get mainly from wholesale now?
No, yeah, I would say maybe 5% of what we buy comes from yard sales and thrift stores. And
Mm.
really we do that more because it's a fun thing to do. Like we love to do it. Ali and I, if we didn't do YouTube, oh, if we
So I think someone
you're
might be
good.
at my door.
If we didn't do YouTube, if we weren't on social media at all, we would still go to garage sales every single day, or not every single day, but every single weekend. And we'll do that forever, you know? But yes, now as we've grown the business, as we have more overhead, it's pretty difficult to run a larger scale business only sourcing from thrift stores and yard sales. It's almost impossible, in my
Yeah,
opinion. You can get to a certain number, but after that, you kind of have to start digging into wholesale.
yeah,
And so for us now, most of our buys are actually, because we're fairly focused on vintage t-shirts, the majority of our buys are buying out full collections. So we'll go to someone who has 150 vintage t-shirts and buy all of them at once.
mm,
And that's typically what we're doing a couple times a week.
yeah. And then you're keeping about 6 or 7 of them and selling the rest of them.
Yeah. That's one of the best things about this business. I can
Yeah,
keep stuff and
exactly.
wear
Yeah,
it.
I find
Yeah.
myself doing it all the time when I pick up clothes, like even clothing that won't fit me. I'm just like, "Oh, this is so cool. I wish
Yeah.
I could keep it," but I end up convincing myself to sell it. So because all we'll end up doing is just sitting in the cupboard, and in a few months' time, it'll just get taken out and sold anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so seeing as you went from almost like rags to riches in a way, have you got any tips or advice for any new resellers that might be watching?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, number one, I would say don't go full time until you're ready, right? So try to save up your pennies, continue with the job that you're doing, pay your bills until your reselling can start to take over, paying for your lifestyle. But you have to manage your money really well, because what I've seen, the resellers that I see who fail, the majority of the time fail because they run out of money. So it's really important to have a really good source of inventory coming in. Like, know that you can get inventory every single week. Know that you have like a legitimate wholesaler you can buy from, and you know that you're getting, a good influx of cash flow before you take the jump and go full time. Because if you don't, then you're going to fall back, and it's going to be difficult. And then consistency is the biggest thing. Most resellers are not very good at, they're very good at picking, they're very good at listing the stuff and doing like the day-to-day work, but they're not very good at setting a schedule for themselves and following a schedule and running it like a business. Most resellers, I hate to say this, and there's nothing wrong with this, doing it as a hobby, but most resellers resell as a hobby, not as a business. So you have to go, if you want to do this full time and get to the point where you're paying all your bills doing reselling, you have to set yourself a schedule. You have to go, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm sourcing. Thursday, Friday, I'm doing all my listing. Saturday, Sunday, I'm sourcing and listing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to set a really good schedule for yourself and
Yeah,
stick to it. Yeah.
definitely. I get like a lot of people ask me when's the right time to step down from being part time and going full time, and yeah, I couldn't really have said it better personally. I
And
mean,
sometimes the answer is never, and that's totally
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Not everybody's meant to be a full-time reseller, and sometimes it's better to keep your job, keep your health benefits, especially if you enjoy your job. If you like what you're doing, continue to do it, and then make a little bit of extra income on the side. That's
yeah.
the majority of resellers, and that's okay.
I think as well, a lot of people that want to step over to full time, they don't distance themselves from the difference between being part time and full time. Like when you're part time, it is a side hustle, and when you're full time, that money has to allow you to survive. So
Yes.
it's a big difference from going from something that's just a hobby to something that's a job, and
Right.
you need to make sure that you understand the difference between the two, basically.
Nice. I saw a shout out to Darren. I'm looking at the comments. Darren Hawkins says, "Thanks for your videos. I had my best ever sale, a Janis Joplin vintage tie-dye t-shirt that I would have never known about until watching your videos. Many thanks." See, that's what's so cool about YouTube, is that I get to share my knowledge, the stuff that I learn as well, and it gets to help out other people too.
Yeah,
I love
definitely.
that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's also nice to hear, especially when you hear a lot of negative feedback about all us YouTubers apparently giving away all the secrets and driving prices down and making competition harder and all stuff like that. It's always nice to know that.
Yeah. And listen, it's a fact that that does happen. You know, like obviously we do affect the pricing, and we affect people coming into the market and competition and all that stuff. But listen, reselling has been around long before us, and it'll continue long after us. It's one of the oldest professions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, since there was something to sell or bargain for, it's been happening. There's no secret to this business. It's you buy stuff and you sell it for a profit.
the only difference now is it's more in people's face, whereas
Sure.
before when social media wasn't around, it wasn't. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't really think that it's changed too much knowledge because there's always going to be people that are just going to do it as a little part-time thing,
Yep.
and a lot of people do it. They see that the good side of it and start it, and then decide that it's not for them and just
Yeah.
carry on with what they're doing. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like maybe 2 or 3 out of every 20 might continue with it, but it's just nice to share the knowledge, and that's mainly why I do my YouTube channel because no one ever watches my videos.
YouTube's a grind.
Yeah, it is. It is. It doesn't help that last year I was really inconsistent with my posting and stuff, and I went MIA for a little while and all stuff like that. But
Yeah,
that's
it
down to me. So
it's I mean, it's almost as much of a business as the reselling side.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, a lot of people don't appreciate how long video editing and everything takes,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you have to, on top of that, you have to run the other side of the business as well.
Yeah.
So it
You
can
have to
be,
have a passion for it. Yeah,
yeah,
and people ask us that all the time. They're like, "Hey, do you make more money from YouTube or from reselling?" And it is by far from reselling. We make some money from YouTube, but we are resellers. We are
yeah,
not YouTubers, and that's by design. If
yeah.
for some reason YouTube, you know, went away, we could still resell and cover everything that we do. So
Yeah, if I wanted to make millions off of YouTube, I'd do what Mr. Beast is doing, not do reselling content.
exactly, yeah. There's better stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's better
exactly.
ways to be a YouTuber. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, so they're all the main questions that I've got on the business side here. So
Okay.
these are what I call phase two questions. So these are more about yourself.
Okay.
So the first one is, what is your biggest flaw?
Ooh. Okay, that's a good question. I think I can get taken advantage of fairly easily in business, and I would say 9 out of 10 of the times I've loaned money to people, it hasn't worked out well for me.
You're gonna get loads
So
of people messaging you asking for money now.
yeah, I'm a little bit too trustworthy or trusting of people. I'm actually going through something right now, which I'm not going to get too much into. But I bought a T-shirt for $1,000. It's a lot of money. It's a really, really high-end T-shirt, and the guy hasn't shipped it out for 3 weeks. So, stuff like that happens, and like it's a someone that I've done business with before and considered a friend. So it sucks when this happens, but
Yeah.
I would say that's probably the biggest thing I deal with is giving people the benefit of the doubt a little bit too much than I should. Yeah.
Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes not so
Sure.
much.
Yeah. I'm not going to change that about myself. It's,
Yeah, no,
it's who I am. So
no, exactly. Okay, so how do you cope when you're having a bad week with your business or just in general?
I think stuff like this helps, like having a community, people to
Mm,
talk to. Instagram's really cool for us. I got some people that I can bounce stuff off of. My dad and mom are like super supportive. They live 2 hours away from me, and like I was in business with my dad for a long time. We've run businesses together. So, and he's always, since I was a young kid, been very supportive of me being in business for myself. So I can call him, bounce ideas off of him, vent to him, and because he also has his own business, he can help kind of guide me through. So he's a big mentor for me. And then also we're lucky that I have Allie, I have Callie. I'm not in this alone, which is pretty cool. I know
yeah,
that's one thing that a lot of people do struggle with. And if you are reselling alone, I would recommend like try to get involved in some sort of a community. Get on Instagram, use social media for that. Get involved, get in a Facebook group, talk to other resellers and form some sort of a community.
yeah. We've got a couple of pretty good reseller community channels on Facebook over in the UK.
Cool.
Happy Day Resellers is quite a good one, and then there's another one, Money Mental UK. The guy that made that has mental health issues, so that's all quite good.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe he had huge gambling debts and everything, and he's been using reselling to clear all his debts off and stuff. So
Let's go.
exactly. Okay, so if you could have a conversation over coffee or food with anyone living or dead, who would it be and why?
Probably Elon Musk. I'm fascinated by him. His brain is ridiculously fascinating. I mean, he's South African too. I'm South African, so we have that in common. I think that what he's doing is crazy. Like he's running multiple billion-dollar businesses, and he just got Twitter, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think he's one of those people that like I think is right on the edge of being a good guy and a bad guy. Like he could go either way.
Yeah,
He could
like he's
become this
just on
like
the fence of being a Bond villain.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I don't know. I think that would be a really interesting person to talk to.
yeah.
Hi, married to reselling. How are you?
I think last week, Sam Selstuff said that he would sit down with Alan Sugar. Do you know who Alan Sugar is?
No.
Okay, so you know the Amstrad.
Amstrad?
Yeah, have you heard of the brand Amstrad? He made back in the, I think it was the 80s. He made a games console called the Amstrad that was meant to go compete with everything else and kind of flopped. But
Oh, cool.
he's now like a multi-billionaire, runs loads of companies and stuff. And you might know him if I went like, "You're fired."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's Alan Sugar. But yeah, he's like another person that he's literally on the fence of being a Bond villain as well. But
I think
yeah,
to be that wealthy and get to that position, you kind of have to be a little bit, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last question. What's one thing that you do on a regular basis that you hate doing, but nobody knows that you hate doing it?
Exercise. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I enjoy the after effects of it, but
Yeah,
I hate going to the gym and doing it while I'm there. But I do it because I like to stay healthy.
yeah.
You
If
know,
only there was a way to do it with just an injection or something like
yeah. I loathe running, but it's something you got to do.
Yeah,
It's tough to stay healthy as a reseller.
yeah.
It's a pretty sedentary lifestyle. Sit in front of a computer, listing stuff all day. You think you're moving, going out and sourcing stuff, but not really. Like,
No, yeah.
and it's a lot of like quick eat, fast food type stuff. So be careful.
No, definitely. Okay, have we got any questions in the chat at all that we've not answered? I'll have a quick look. What's
I
this?
saw.
Apprentice Trump did the US version. Okay.
Is that's the guy, The Apprentice?
Yeah, that was a TV show that he done. In the UK, The Apprentice. Yeah, I
Okay,
couldn't
yeah.
for the life of
Gotcha,
me remember the name of the show.
gotcha.
uh,
Yeah, America's really good at stealing shows from the UK and doing them over
and
here.
then usually making them more popular than the UK one as well.
Yeah. What's the
So,
most valuable vintage tee? Is it the
yeah,
Mask movie promo? The Mask tees are worth a decent amount of money. There's a couple that are worth a lot, but definitely not the most valuable. There's a lot of the most valuable tees out there are going to be either attached to celebrities, like a shirt that was worn by Kurt Cobain or something like that. A shirt that was in a show, and it's a one of one. Those are the shirts that are going to be worth the most. There was a Grateful Dead show T-shirt that sold recently at auction for $17,500. So that's definitely one of the more valuable ones. But more common valuable shirts, I would say right now, I'd say probably Mosquito Head tees. It's a company called Mosquito Head that made T-shirts. You might be familiar with them. They're bleach dyed mainly, so you'll have like a graphic on the front, and then it'll be kind of bleach dyed onto the back. Those are can be upwards of $4,000 or $5,000. But there's a lot of really good valuable T-shirts out there.
nice. So Sam says, sorry if it's been covered already, but what's the biggest hurdle you faced in reselling journey, and how did you overcome it?
I think just consistency in sourcing is the biggest thing. Like finding good wholesalers, finding consistent inventory coming in all the time, It's a really difficult thing to do, and the big thing people ask all the time, like, oh, how do I find a wholesaler? How do I, how do I know where to go? And it's hard to say without, giving everything away. But you got to network with people. That's the biggest thing, is you have to put yourself out there and talk to other people who are doing it, get some different tips from them on where to go. And then also, if you focus on one certain industry, it makes it a lot easier. So instead of saying, I just want to sell everything, where's a wholesaler that can sell me something of everything? Well, no. How about try to find a wholesaler to sell you just shoes, or a wholesaler to sell you just t-shirts, or just hats, or just electronics, or just video games, or whatever you're looking for. Niche down and try to find something, that way.
Yeah. Okay, so Knight's Life says, Ryan, where do you see your business in 5 years?
When I was young, like when had the other businesses, like the social media management companies and stuff, I wanted to be the next Zuckerberg. I wanted to be, I wanted to build a gigantic company and do that. At this point in my life, I'm so content with where we are that if in 5 years from now, if we're in the exact same place, I'm super happy. Super happy. So my goal is honestly to maintain the lifestyle. We've created this business so that we are happy, we can pay our bills, we can provide a good income for another person, and we can have fun, and we can still travel. That's big for us. So.
Yep. Question for Ryan: what have you never sold that you wished you had?
Oh man, you said it earlier. I've never sold a car. I would love to sell a car. I think that would be kind of fun to flip a car. My dad was a car salesman in Texas for years. When we first moved to America, he did used car sales. He would go to the auctions, buy cars, and then flip them. And yeah, at some point in my life, that'd be fun to flip a car for profit. Yeah.
It's definitely, it is fun. It's a little bit different, I think, over in the States than over in the UK. But yeah, it's definitely worth giving it a try. Buy yourself a car from Copart, nice broken easy fixer.
Okay.
Sell it on for a little bit of profit.
All right.
So Sam says again, thanks, Ryan. And for a serious question, if you had to have a charity boxing match with another reseller, who are you taking on?
Who do you want me taking on? Who do you want me taking on? I would love to do that. That'd be fun. No, I don't care. I think I would probably stand a pretty good chance with most other resellers out there. I got a pretty decent background in, fighting. I would be scared to take on someone like I would be scared of like Bonafide Hustler. Chris?
No, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, look up Bonafide Hustler. He looks like the guy that played Aquaman.
Okay.
In the new one, he looks exactly like that. He's a monster.
What's this one? Apparently married to reselling says they flipped a car, but not in that way.
Yikes.
What's Sam saying here? Tornado.
Take on Harry Tornado. Josh and I are cool. Now.
Any more questions before we move on? I think that was all of them. Yeah, I think that was everything. Okay, so the last thing that we do on the show is the Would I Lie to You game.
Okay.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to tell us a reselling story. It can be true or you can make it up, and then we're all going to try and decide whether you're lying or telling the truth.
Oh man, what's a good one?
Well, you got to be careful because you've told us about a lot of bad experiences on your YouTube in the past. So
yeah, man, I'm trying to think of one that like I haven't told before. That would be a good story to tell. Okay, I have one.
Yeah,
I have one. Okay, so when we were deep into buying wholesale, I posted ads, right, that we were buying wholesale in our local area, and I got a response to the ad, and it was a guy selling, those Amazon, the Kindle Fire thing? Okay. So he responded and goes, hey, I have these 250 of these Amazon Kindle Fire tablets. And he was like, I'll sell them all to you for $20 a pop. And I was like, well, that's a little sketchy, you know, where did you get them? And he was like, well, we bought 1,000 of them and we gave 750 of them away for like a charity event. And we have 250 left over and we're just trying to get some money back. So I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. So I bought them, right? 250 of them, and I listed them on eBay and they sold like hotcakes. I was selling them for like $60 a piece, like 20 a day. And then I got a message on eBay from someone and they said, hey, where did you get these Kindles from? And I was like, well, I bought them from a wholesaler. And he said, I think they're mine. And I said, that's strange. And he goes, yes, my warehouse was robbed. And I can send you the video footage of the people robbing my warehouse. And he goes, I'm working with the police department now. If you can send me the Kindles, I'll give you the money back that you paid for them. He didn't, he wasn't obviously didn't think that I did anything. But he was like, I'll give you all the money that you paid back for them. We're just trying to catch the guy that did this. So I was like, okay, yeah, no worries. So I sent everything over and he sent me a check for what I paid for everything. And that was the end. That was the end of the story. I never heard back. I don't know if they got the guy or not, but yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, I after hearing some of the weird purchases that you've had from dodgy people, and the fact that you said that you're a very trusting person, I'm definitely inclined to say that's a true story. See if anyone else agrees to me. Yep. So Bill thinks it is true. Anybody else? No, I think everyone's just amazed at the story at the moment. Yep, I'd say it's true. Oh, no, we've got a lie. There you go. They're all coming through now. True, true. Well, I think the majority of us think it's true. So do you want to put us out of our misery?
That is a true story. That is a true story. Yeah.
Do you know what? This is the fourth show that I've done, and it's the first one that I've got right.
Yay, nice. Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, so thank you for coming on the show. I know your schedule's really quite tight, so I really appreciate you coming on and giving me some of your time and knowledge and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you go. I tried to keep this video a little bit shorter. I said half an hour, so
that's great. I appreciate it.
Too bad, yeah. But
cool.
Yeah,
nice chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And yeah, let's end it there. I'll see everyone next week. I believe I've got Night's Life on next week. So yeah, same place next week. See everyone later. Bye.